Hello, my name is Tom Marshall. Welcome back to the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Today we are going to look at the film Good Fortune. Keanu Reeves as an angel. Who knew? Okay, so the film is directed by Aziz Ansari, who also stars in the film alongside Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, and Keke Palmer. The story centers around Aj, the main character played by Aziz Ansari, who is fallen under hard times and is working multiple jobs at once just to get by. He works at a hardware store and then also is part of an app that basically is a yellow pages essentially for handy people who basically go off to do odd jobs either at home or even jobs as simple as waiting in line in a queue for something or other, which could be anything. And so he does this for a while and accepts a job through this app, which just so happens to be Seth Rogen's character. Joe asks him to help tidy up his garage and make sure it's all organized and spotless. And so he does this, and Joe actually is looking for an assistant who has basically left. Upon completing the task of tidying his garage, he's impressed by this, and so Aziz Ansari is in his house. They're just casually chatting away, and so he asks him like, "Oh, I could be your assistant if you like." And so he goes on a 1 week trial as Joe the Tech Bro's assistant, and all seemingly goes well. You think, oh, actually things are starting to turn out quite well, and then all of a sudden he meets Keke Palmer's character and goes out on a date with her and spends money on the company card to pay for the date, which essentially gets him in trouble with Joe and he gets fired. And so this is where his life starts to fall apart. And enter Keanu Reeves, Angel Gabriel. In this universe, the angels are basically responsible for various different jobs, and Gabriel's basically been in charge of making sure people don't die whilst texting and driving, and has been doing this for a long time. And so he's bored and wants to help a lost soul. And so this is where he sort of sees Aziz Ansari's character Aj just waiting around in a car park, unsure what's going on, and is a little down on his luck. And he goes, "I found a lost soul," and chaos ensues. The film tonally is not too bad. It's from the trailers, it's kind of a comedy. However, there are moments where it's actually quite dark and also quite depressing at times, especially when Angel Gabriel has become human and has been sort of demoted to being human after meddling with the affairs of humans for too long and making a huge mess of things. He has to work 3 jobs and he's smoking outside of a restaurant where he works, and doesn't portray a glamorous side of life America, which is kind of a bit misleading because I think the trailer sort of made it out to be like this sort of grand comedy about what it means to be living a good life and a fulfilling life. You are here for the story of Aj and his redemption, going from homelessness to living in his car, and basically living from job to job, trying to make ends meet. But actually, you're here for the story between Angel Gabriel and Joe the Tech Bro, Seth Rogen's character. And so when Gabriel starts messing around with their lives and switching their lives to make Arja's character understand that money isn't going to solve all his problems, backfires, realizes that actually money solved all his problems. And I was like, okay, I'm stuck now. Now what do I do? And the higher angels understand what's going on and demote Gabriel to human status, and so has to live out life as a human until Aj can basically want to come back to his own life. It's the story between the angel and Joe, which is the more compelling storyline, because they fall from the highest mountains, the highest echelons of life back down to earth, and they have to sort of get by and try and figure things out, and it doesn't quite go their way often in this film. And so, like I said, like Keanu Reeves has to work 3 jobs. Even Joe gets in and becomes a delivery driver, does the similar job as what Arj was doing, and they're not as successful. They sort of get that realization, well, actually, not everyone is doing well. And so it's a life lesson that they eventually do take on later in the film. It's actually quite a good film in that sense, but it does go quite dark, and where it's supposed to be a bit of a comedy. I think Keanu Reeves is standout. Like, who knew that he could do comedy? But if we know our history, he did Bill and Ted. So I mean, he's got comedy in his veins, but we're just so used to him beating the shit out of people and killing everything in sight in the John Wick films and The Matrix. Seeing him in this different role was really quite refreshing, and having more than 5 lines to say was really quite good. Whereas in those other films, the John Wick films, he barely says a word. So he was really, really funny. Seth Rogen and him have great chemistry. I'd love to see like another movie, but it's just them together. They'd make a great like buddy cop comedy, maybe. I don't know, that'd be quite good. Yeah, their chemistry is excellent and worked well together, it seems. So I'd like to see a lot more of that. Kiki Palmer, her performance was good, but I don't think her storyline was good. I understand the whole union aspect of it and working in the store, and yes, I understand you want to make your life better and have more, better benefits and things like that, but it didn't necessarily sort of help push the story forward. That was unnecessary. Like, she could have just been like a good friend to Aziz Ansari's character Aj, but nonetheless, like, her performance was actually very, very good. So overall, yes, the film is good, but it is flawed, and there are certain aspects of it. I think Aziz Ansari does a good job of capturing LA as it is, warts and all, and shot in LA as well, which is quite rare these days. Definitely go and see this film. It's a good laugh. I had a good time. There were some moments where I was just very much laugh out loud. And yeah, like I say, Keanu Reeves doing comedy, can't go wrong. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next review.